makes their transition game pretty weak.
Yeah.
So if they could get those things figured out here, the Birds are no NRG, so maybe they can, start working their way as we get underway in game number 1.
Yeah. And I think Achieve said it best in the pre-show, where the Birds were failing to utilize all this extra space. And a big theme of today has been counterattacks and how you bring the ball to the other side of the field.
Ooh, that banged off the posts. The first shot, Typical. Playing this in around the corner. Had to fight Ajax for the ball, who punches that one away. Double commit there by AXB and Arsenal. Shot blocked by Arsenal, so he bails them out. AXB, another challenge. Spacestation. Demo on the back end. Hoxer is almost blocked, but he picks up the goal.
James said it himself, just feed the ball to Hoxer, get this man a shot. Arsenal almost picking up the save, but Hoxer in position, a great shot, and that was way too close for comfort.
That pass from Roldiz was ridiculous.
Yeah.
If he's going for the shot, it doesn't matter. Hoxer was ready for it. Still, that touch over to Hoxer gives the Birds an early lead. And Roldiz, his shot right into Typical. Arsenal is Typical, blocked out by Ajax this time. Wanting to be a little quicker on that pass. Hoxer had the space, got there in time, now fighting in the corner for the ball. But the Birds trying to set up shop here in midfield. And Ajax blocked initially by AXB. Roldiz against Arsenal as well. Still the Birds are hunting here off the backboard. Hoxer's blocked by AXB.
Right now it's just all the Birds running around and using the space, which is what we want to see, the confidence from them. I think after a blowout that NRG had against them, I mean, they don't have anything to lose at this point. Everybody's doubting them.
Such a finesse touch there by AXB, hitting it right on the corner. It wasn't on target, but it was closer than you may have expected. Demo by Arsenal keeps the continuation here for Space Station. Another demo and the open net for Arsenal because of it. Quick tie game.
I mean, we thought Arsenal was going to be the aggressor, but Typical getting the great pass. That was the weirdest angle, and demoing Roldiz on the wall. Such a difficult play to do, and Arsenal puts it in.
An odd start. Hoxer getting that the tip in off that pass from Roldiz, and then that interesting touch from Typical as well off the kickoff. Here's AXB just pixels off. Space Station forced back in their own end. It's a hard touch, but not into space. Found Ajax again there off the rebound. And for Space Station again, they like to play aggressively, so being locked in here on their own end, trying to find a way out, and it's a solid clear from Arsenal.
I mean, what's a better way to do that than just demo the other player? Come in around the corner, be aggressive. And you were talking about earlier, Jorby. I mean, how do you fix a shooting percentage that's just too low? Is it the passes that are bad or the shots?
It's the shots. Every shot has been off the post or off the crossbar. They're so close, they just can't seem to tune it. They have to tune it by literal pixels. And it just seems to continue to plague them, finding themselves locked in their own half. On a high, slow ball. A little too deep of a pass for Typical.
Yeah. And both these teams have to follow the trailblazing that is the Pittsburgh Knights, who just took down Cloud9. These are the competitors of the new season who are looking to make a name for themselves and make that top 4 spot.
Yeah, I mean, we sit here and we talk about the big 3 all the time in North America. The Knights took down one of them.
Yeah.
And so both of these teams, like we said, fighting for playoff contention and really just trying to get better and looking at the top. It's like, how can we get to that point? So far, we've been tied up. A couple of shots on net, but for the most part, in this last minute or so, solid clears from both teams. That's a good touch from Arsenal, trying to move into the corner. Typical keeps it going, has the double, and then forces 2 up from the Birds, but no one will be coming quickly. Arsenal covering midfield, and it's blocked down again.
Great chance there from Typical. We managed to get that pass off, but everybody from Birds in the net. Sometimes if everybody's just trying to push the ball out, you can get lucky with a little bit of a clear and just hope not for a double commit.
You heard Lawler say, he wants to see Arsenal, who came into this roster to replace Sathu, really wants to see him continue to be an impact on this Space Station roster. So far, while the scoring has been low, his touches have been really solid, and he's forced the Birds to have to use a lot of boost and find creative ways to get out of their own half. But credit to the Birds, Hawks are on point. Blocked by AXP. Typical back over to Arsenal. Spacestation slowly move down the pitch, but the demo will kill the attack as Hoxer carries it away.
Oh, good patience from Hoxer there as well. Taking the option to dribble it out of his own end. He realizes that so much space is there in front of him. In the defensive end, you can panic, but great job from him to dribble it out, take it to the other corner, and stall some time for your teammates to rotate in.
Roltiz waiting for that touch from Arsenal. AXB able to get around the ball and take it away from the box. Still, they're getting bumped and chipped here by the Birds in their own end. Arsenal downfield for the pass to AXB, and it won't be really to anyone, but Roltiz's touch over to Ajax. AXB was trying to line that one up. Pass broken up, and now Hoxer booms this downfield for the Birds. Off the backboard, no touch, and the shot will not come. AXB trying to get back to this. It's off the back wall. Shot maybe, it's high off the backboard and blocked before Hoxer could get a piece of it. Arsenal will kill it. Overtime in game one, Turtle.
Low-scoring game. Sipical had a chance there on the wall to get some kind of a clear, getting away with murder. He missed it. Could have been a great opportunity for Birds, but you know, thankfully, if you're a Spacestation Gaming fan, they let that one drop.
And counterattacks have been a big portion of today, but for both teams, the transition defense has been much better than what we may have seen from them in the past. And you know, obviously, we're comparing previous games as they faced most likely, quite possibly the best team in North America. We'll find out maybe later today. Either way, this one up high in overtime. Ajax doesn't have that. Arsenal actually wins the challenge in midfield against Roltiz.
Oh, he's
this
alone.
Touch for AXB off the back wall. Sipical can't get it. Hoxer well handled across the backboard.
Again, more patience from Hoxer. He was the last man back. He took it slow, went up the wall, which is, I feel like that's a theme I haven't seen from so many people, is using the backboard, staying there. That's one of the best positions you can be whenever you're last man back.
Well, they're going to find some space. Spacestation. That one just off the crossbar. I was surprised that shot actually got as close as it did. It didn't look like he'd have the angle on it, but AXB. It's just a high ball over to Ajax. The Birds getting some offense going here on the in Spacestation territory. High off the backboard. Sipical will have the initial touch, and he gets another crucial touch, puts Hoxer in a tough spot, forces Ajax to have to come in, and that touch got away from him, so Arsenal moved towards the box. Spacestation finally transitioning over to the blue half. Can they find a shot towards the box? Because so far, Birds have done a good job in this pinch as well, keeping this out of the net.
And Jorba, you mentioned it. I mean, Spacestation right now has 12 shots to Birds 5. I mean, they have the opportunities, they have the chances. It's a matter of quality. You know, I mean, everybody would obviously rather have a wide open net to shoot at from a great pass than just trying to throw everything you have at the net. Spacestation seems like they're doing the exact same thing that you said they've been struggling with for the past 2 seasons.
Arsenal up high for Sipical. This one off the backboard and picked up by Ajax. Sipical, that dump down. AXB forced back to their own half again. So Spacestation, with about half a game of Rocket League played in overtime, have to reset again. But the space for the Birds, you know, Spacestation, they're kind of dumping this ball out. Wait a minute, Sipical tried for it. Ajax able to make the save.
I thought he had the fake there. He didn't use all his boost, but here comes AXB. Hoxer again with space too, and look at it. He's just using it to the fullest. Gets a great dribble and a pass. Ajax coming through, but AXB's there.
Off the corner, somehow Roltiz gets back to this before anyone on Spacestation does. And again, another long clear, but it's to nobody for Spacestation, so Ajax gets there. Hoxer continues it. Ajax shoots, but it's going to be high and turned away by Arsenal. Roltiz here for this. Maybe looking for that pass. Hoxer had to, or Ajax, excuse me, had to turn away.
And slow aggression. I don't see anybody really, you know, trying to be in the other defense's face, be annoying, go for these demos, and be in the backfield rotation. You know, taking that boost. Yeah,
both teams, it feels like, you know, really respecting long clears and just trying to play those clears. Both of these teams are, and they're just finding these, like this one from Ajax. Just he finds a little gap, but AXB is going to catch this. He has no boost now, but he does win one challenge in the corner. Now, how does Spacestation attack this? Ajax flips it away from Arsenal. And that touch, it gets a little too far away from Sipical there. Good by Hoxer to be in the right spot. Now Roltiz takes this, he flips it over another.
Oh, good demo.
Field taken, and like you said, demo.
And lots of dribbles as well. The defense is, I feel like both teams are also just taking the pace so slow, trying to control everything, dribble as much as you can, and win all these challenges instead of put yourself in a risky situation for high reward. But Hawks are trying to do something, and another clear just to nowhere.
And, you know, Space Station, so used to watching this team play ultra aggressive, right, where you see them kind of around or up above the midfield line, all three players. Yeah. But in this game, you know, the Birds have done such a good job clearing the ball that Space Station are forced to have to respect it. We're almost 5 minutes played in overtime, and still really, you don't really feel like any team or either team has really gotten a quality opportunity on net.
I mean, I think it's going to come down to Hawkser and
it's over.
That's it.
That's it.
Roldiz, he just finds the open net. I thought we were going to continue this overtime for so long, but Roldiz off a missed touch from AXB.
Oh, and Sipical's far up on it too.
I mean, I was talking about being aggressive and pushing up in the midfield as last man back. Roldiz takes a free net, and Birds take the series lead 1-0.
Yeah, and it was just after I was praising Space Station for not getting overly aggressive, and then I don't know if Sipical didn't see Roldiz there for the challenge on the sideball, but you know, AXB's touch, a little panicky by Space Station.
And I was surprised because I thought Space Station Gaming was going to come out and be aggressive. For me, it was a matter of who's going to be the most high forward player, you know, trying to force a mistake, trying to make a defense panic, and that's Arsenal and Hawkser. Those are the two players who are comfortable with going up, but it seemed like both of them were respecting the other team, trying not to get out of position, trying not to, you know, it's a decision. Go for the corner boost in the defensive area of your opponent, or rotate back and make sure you can stop a goal.
Yeah, and Birds also did a really good job of finding gaps in Space Station's offense and forcing. So many times they force Space Station like, oh, we got to go back to our own back wall and try this again, and then like the midfield boost gets stolen because all of them are sitting back, and that clear forces everybody to rotate back, and they've lost the boost, and then they move down the field again, or they try a hard clear. They're not ready for the hard clear. Now they don't have any boost, and now the ball gets cleared back on their own end again, and they still put 14 shots on net, and a lot of those came early.
It didn't feel like that. It did not feel like they were just, you know, constantly hammering down shots.
It was like in the first half.
It was slow paced, and it was just kind of throwing it at the net. Most of them were probably clears.
Yeah, and you know, again, I think that it was obviously a very defensive game for Birds. Ajax also, in addition to Hawkser, had a lot of solid touches down the pitch, so I like that from Birds. And you know, I know that Roldiz has always been kind of the guy that a lot of us say really needs to step up on this roster.
Definitely.
He picked up an open net goal. I'd like to see that maybe be a good turning point for him and the Birds.
And maybe all we've been waiting for, Jorby, this entire series has been some sort of a warm-up for both teams. See if we can see some speed increase and more aggression from both offenses we see here.
All right, well, starting game number 2. That one pitched off the back wall, and Ajax will win that challenge. But Sipical carrying this ball past Roldiz, and Sipical carries it from the ground. Air dribble into the net. Space Station score first.
Sipical freestyling, using air roll almost the entire time, and manages to get past Roldiz. He stayed behind the ball and pushed it so far with momentum. And, I mean, at what point do you got to predict some form of an air dribble? There was no reset. It was just constant pressure under the ball.
Yeah, and you saw the defender get up and try to defend that air dribble, but it was that last touch, using air roll to push it over to the right just a tad to get it by the defender. So well done by Sipical.
And I don't think he would have been able to get that if he wasn't air rolling the whole time, getting that last hit with the spin of his car.
Yeah. Try to flip back into it as well. So Sipical scoring a big early goal here for Space Station. And a good chip by AXB as well, but a quick rotation. Back on the far side, shot blocked, and he almost got the dunk. Ajax, instead, it bounces off the back wall. Roldiz forces his way past 1. Forces his way past 2, and then AXB can't get the clear out by midfield. Birds getting set up here on offense. Good challenges in the corner. Hawkser finding that pass, and I love that from Ajax. Winning those 2 challenges and then still able to come out from the corner and find the pass. Ajax will handle that.
Arsenal did a great job there, you know, getting through the offense that is Birds and finding a one-on-one opportunity and just coming short. You got to get that last flick, positioning it on top of your car. Arsenal, you know, dribbling it out, which is a common idea that we've seen so much of Space Station, and Birds, both these teams taking it slow.
Arsenal, that's not the best touch. It was actually a double commit by the Birds as well.
Yeah.
AXB Popping this up high in the corner. He still has control. Sypical, ooh. Could not find the angle, but Arsenal had time to come in, keep this going. Punches it against the back wall, gets a bump. AXB scores. Space Station finding the back of the net in game 2.
In the blink of an eye, Arsenal manages to make a pass out of Hoxer's body, and there's 2 bumps coming through. I mean, that's an open net AXB shooting at. He's got all the time in the world and gets a banger of a shot.
Love the play from Arsenal as well, setting all of that up for AXB. And Space Station, at least in the first half of game 2, the offense are converting their chances. Something we don't often see from Space Station. Usually it's a struggle like we saw in game number 1.
And I think that's the first time we've seen Arsenal be more aggressive this series. You know, maybe he's trying to tone it down. This could be, you know, a tactic they're trying to implement for Arsenal specifically. Surprise people with explosive aggression. People know how Arsenal plays. People see his play style. He's going to be in your face. If he's not doing that right away, that gives the defense, you know, confidence. They're not looking for it.
Ajax is still going to get for this. He jumped as Roldes hit that ball, so a tad miscommunication. Sypical. Don't think he thought that was coming for free off the backboard. Ran out of boost regardless. Kick back downfield. Birds not out of it yet. Less than 2 minutes to go. 2-goal deficit is not anything to scream at. AXB certainly keeps that one across, but the Birds have just been forced to play defense, and Sypical ends up scoring here, so a 3-goal now comfortable lead here for Space Station.
I mean, a misclear from Roldes. I don't think he saw Sypical on the other side with a great prediction, a solid angle, and nobody in net to try and get a pre-jump. Sypical reading the defense well.
Yeah, it didn't help that Roldes got absolutely no gumption on that touch off the backboard. So Space Station take advantage and, you know, generating their own opportunities with bumps and demos to get their first 2 goals. Capitalizing off of a missed touch. Birds looking for their first goal. Hoxer could not get too above that to find power, and it's challenge knocked away by Space Station. This one knocked up high. Solid touch from AXB. Roldes, it forced him back and allowed Sypical to come in and at least make a challenge. Again, Arsenal takes this back, so Birds, while they were sitting on the orange half of the field for a little bit, they could never really grab possession of the ball.
Yeah.
Space Station are just throwing everything away that the Birds have.
I think it's the reading the clears from your own teammates from Birds that's really throwing them off right now. A great chance there from Hoxer. Misses the shot, and they're just not connecting with any clears. You know, they try and force it out of their own half, and they aren't finding their teammates.
Roldes has Hoxer downfield. Pass to Roldes. The shot saved by Sypical. Sypical couldn't get back to that, but another long clear. And locked down. I mean, Hoxer's touch right there, he didn't have a lot of boost, but there's no one downfield to receive that pass. And I think that's just, you know, more to your point.
And it's almost like even when they do dribble out, which I've seen multiple times, they get a flick and it goes nowhere. And their teammates are too scared to predict where they're going to hit it, where they can receive it, and try and find a connection of passes. Meanwhile, Space Station Gaming are fine with, you know, getting free possession.
Time expires. Space Station, a much cleaner game number 2.
Yeah.
And both of these teams, you know, we have questions about both of these teams after their initial series. Birds have not had an easy go of it so far. They win the first game off of an open net. Space Station didn't give them that, and they couldn't score.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there were 2 difference makers for Space Station here. We had Arsenal being aggressive, getting those bump plays, and also the fantastic pass. And then we also had no holes in defense. Birds, a lot of their goals last game were just free nets.
Birds. You're going to look back and maybe look at Hoxer. James said it on the desk.
Yeah.
You got to feed the machine. You got to feed the man that scores.
But if he's not
goals.
Going up the field to try and receive a clear, it's.
I mean, they had 4 shots on net in game 2. They have absolutely no offense against Space Station right now. The only time Birds can score are when Space Station makes a mistake, and you have to be more creative. They have to get more creative on offense.
I mean, they have to be more confident,
but they have to find a way.
I mean, I want to be, somebody has to be aggressive here. I feel like they're all three trying to play defense right now and match similar play styles of how one is rotating one another. You know, they're all trying to be midfielders right now. And maybe that has worked for other teams who are all three aggressive, but right now everybody's just staying back and trying to clear the ball and work on their defense. It could be too much of a focus there.
Well, Space Station, as they clean things up in game number 2, certainly not out of the woods yet. And Birds trying to fight back here now in game number 3. This is the all-important swing game in a tied series. Usually, you know, you go on to win this game, you come out the winner of the series more times than not. I mean, so the Birds trying to right the ship. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And who's going to get the explosive play? You know, who's going to really come here? Because right now, I can't tell you who has the momentum. It's just back and forth. And I think you're right, Joby. This is the deciding game.
It was a good final touch by Roldiz. He got right under the ball to pop it up. Puts the Birds on offense. That touch back here for Sipical. Has AXB on the wing and actually found him. Ajax just got a piece of it to put it up. Another shot by Sipical forces a double commit. And Hoxer will take it back down the pitch. Sipical went for the block off that first touch. Wanted to move down the field quickly. Ended up giving up possession, but you know the Birds, more times than not, have just given it right back. Here's Ajax. Couldn't find the challenge against Sipical.
Good aggression from Roldiz as well. I've seen a couple of missed chances here for him to keep the possession, but as long as he's finding that position, then he can keep the possession. You got to be aggressive in the midfield and try and keep the ball in, but that's a good demo from Arsenal, but here comes Roldiz flicking that one out of defense.
Yeah, Sipical, the only man who could have come up was back off that demo, so he couldn't come and capitalize. That's a good first touch by Ajax, but good follow-up from AXB. They're cutting off a lot of options here for Birds when they do get on the offensive end. Roldiz kicks that out to the side and takes advantage of Sipical kind of sticking onto the corner. Now the Birds.
Oh, here we go.
Off of defense, they can't move down the field. They're forced to have to, you know, chip away and hit it to the defense and hope they hit it right back to him.
And that was another miss from Roldiz. He didn't read it perfectly off the wall, didn't get any contact. And, you know, AXB's going to take possession from that. SSG, it feels like, are just getting free hits and clears right to them.
And it's also, to compound on it, it's not making it easier that they're constantly getting demoed and bumped. The Space Station are just chipping them and really screwing these rotations, and you can see that it's affecting their play on the field. You see more double commits than usual. You see these desperate touches to try to get down the field. Roldiz dumps that out towards the box, and AXB's ready for it. Now Arsenal, he's going to take this. Hoxer at least squares that up, and a good follow-up from Roldiz. Kind of held your breath for a second. And Ajax will take this out. He's got Hoxer down in midfield, but actually wins the challenge there. Maybe he can do something as Sipical. Too close onto the angle.
What a pass.
Shot and a goal for Roldiz. The Birds wake up, have the lead.
That's what we want to see. Take it in field. Hoxer doing a great job of this, taking time, being patient, seeing his teammate, and Roldiz coming in. I mean, like lightning. He was so fast at that ball. I love seeing that play, and that is way better of an offensive attack from this Birds offense. 2
out of the 3 goals for Birds scored by Roldiz in this series. Sipical almost found the pass to AXB, even in traffic. Arsenal wins the touch cleanly as he's sent to Rocket League heaven for a couple of seconds. And now up high for AXB, who's going a little too fast. Yeah, I still got the pass. Oh, he wanted him again. Oh, and he almost found Sipical, and he did. Ajax has the block. Birds headed the other way. Ajax has the ball. Ajax has a goal. Birds transition.
Before you know it, here comes Hoxer again with a booming clear, and Ajax is here to follow up after a save. I believe he was the one who got the swinging save that stopped the goal from Space Station Gaming.
Yeah.
And a beautiful counterattack.
Ajax, huge sequence for him and the Birds. Arsenal, challenge up against a defender. AXB, well done to flip back and at least make the challenge. And bumps away the clear attempt. Sipical just barely pops it over one. Space Station, a lot of time expired, and now down by 2. Forced to play a little bit more defense. A good touch off the back wall by Sipical.
And Birds holding on. I mean, the 2 goals they've gotten have been from from the vision on the field, not being so linear. You know, they have had just strict tunnel vision most of this series. And now when they struggle on defense, here comes Civical though. Oh, the pass from AXB. Nobody on the backboard, and they pull one in.
Yeah, Hoxer, he tried to make the challenge here, and his teammate, I believe, Roldiz. It was Roldiz who was up close to Hoxer, and as soon as Hoxer goes for that, now Roldiz is in a really tough spot. He has to run back, use all of his boost just to get on the back wall to have a chance at making the challenge, and you said it, Turtle. AXB put it on the money over to Cipical. That's a big goal for Spacestation late in this game. Now only looking for the tying member, Cipical. Hoxer has that block, and he continues moving down the pitch. This is Ajax's ball, and it bounces about 3 times and gets around to the corner. Demo, but that one off the backboard, and the rest of the Birds just sitting back. And you know, you don't want to risk anything. You don't want to play too aggressively with 50 seconds left, but you are only up by 1.
I mean, they can't change their play style right now. It's too late. You don't want to see them, you know, huddle up, get discombobulated on defense, and throw themselves in the same area. You got to spread out, stay confident, and stay challenging.
AXB, Arsenal pulling off that Hoxer, excuse me, back over to Roldiz. AXB has a man downfield. It's blocked for now. AXB, can't even get the touch. Roldiz able to clear this out. Tons of time being chewed off, but here comes Space Station, and it's Ajax again on the defensive end for the Birds. Demo onto Ajax. He's off out of the play for a few seconds.
Here comes the third.
Arsenal might have a shot. Catches
the dribble.
He can't flip it up. Good awareness by Roldiz. He kills that. Cipical trying to keep this in the air for Space Station. AXB is touch bouncer off the ramp. Arsenal blocked by Ajax. AXB keeps it going. Arsenal, little boost, killed, but somehow Cipical right there for it. AXB's here. Back to Cipical. No way.
It's open.
Off the backboard, killed by Hoxer. Holy moly. Space Station, you know, the play, you hear it all the time. The game is not over until that ball touches the ground.
I mean, you got to hand it to Ajax, though. 2 crucial saves in the most dire situations. The last man back, he has to get those saves, and he does just in time.
Man, I got to say, you know, also, Roldiz, 4 saves on the defensive end. He did much better on the backboard. You know, in game 2, he had a couple of key missed touches, and Ajax, absolutely, in my opinion, the MVP of this last series.
I completely agree. I mean, look at him following up the clear. He sees the space. This is why it was so important of him to get this goal, because he sees the space, the open, clear area, flips into it for the clear. You know, I feel like most people, if they had seen Space Station, if they didn't notice the aligned defense, he wouldn't have been able to do that, but he did. He read the defense well, and he got up.
Yeah, and now Space Station, they could not close things out. We're in game 5.
Yeah.
Turtle. This has been, it's really kind of ramped up, if you will. Game 1, it felt like it was really a feeler game for both teams. And then things got away from the Birds in game 2. But it looked so much cleaner from them. And I like it. And, you know, it's something about this Birds team, specific, all 3 of these players, Hoxer, Roldiz, and Ajax. I remember, you know, watching these players back when, you know, we had tons of community tournaments. They played in every single one of them. And I just seeing the evolution of these 3 players over the last 3 years to go from, you know, constant marathoners in community tournaments to the RLCS. And it's been rough for them so far, but their growth as players and their early growth as a team.
You're sounding like a proud father right now. I really think you're excited to see them here. I mean, how much more proud can you be? I mean, maybe if they take this series, you'll feel a little bit better.
Maybe. But either way, I just like some good Rocket League, Turtle. AXB shot blocked by Ajax. Hoxer will pick this up. Good control. He flicks it over one. Typical tough spot, but he gets it over to AXB. Well handled on the defensive end, and then the miss.
You can already see the pace difference between these teams. So much faster, it seems. Like you said, it was a warm-up game, a feeler game, excuse me, trying to figure out each other's play styles, where they can go, where they're comfortable on the field. And now they're just throwing it all in.
That one tapped away to the corner. The Birds under some pressure. That one just wide of the post. Another shot. It's off the post. Tried to find the wide end. All right, it's game 4. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Birds are up 2-1 in the series. You know,
if I was a father too, I would get ahead of myself.
You know, if I wasn't calling sets and games early, am I really casting? Am I really casting, Turtle?
Maybe. I mean, I think you're just predicting the future right now.
I'm going to get roasted for this later. It's guaranteed. This shot is going to be in for Roldiz. Hits it out to the side. 1-0 here for the Birds. Nice shot by Roldiz.
Poor clear from Sipical, but Ajax is in the best spot possible, reading it on the corner, and a great pass out. Roldiz, a man who I've seen miss a few hits right now in this series, coming clutch.
Yeah, Spacestation caught flat-footed in net as well. All for that poor clear. The Birds take advantage, and I gotta say, you know, we've been picking on Roldiz a little bit this season.
Right.
And at least in this series against Space Station, it's been much better. He's had a couple of key touches when he's carried the ball downfield that have set up some opportunities for Birds. And even if you don't win or convert those opportunities, it's important to be integral in that rotation and causing those opportunities to even have a chance at scoring here. I mean, look at the Birds right now. Well handled on the orange half of the field, but Arsenal will clear this out finally for Space Station.
And Roldiz, I mean, he could be nervous against a lot of these higher-up teams. These two teams are similar situations right now. You know, gunning for that top 4 spot, trying to stay in the RLCS. Maybe they're more comfortable going up against more of their comrades and co-workers right now than they're used to going up against NRG.
AXP's touch. Ooh. A little scary there off that whiff, but Hoxer does pick this up. Sipical and AXP. It's a double commit by the Birds. They need a solid clear from Hoxer, and they get it. Bought a little bit of time to reset on the defensive end, and another good block from Hoxer. Now the Birds want to move in here on offense. Roldiz cut too far under the ball, but they have a little bit of space, and then it's kicked away by Ajax, and he has options. It always feels like the Birds think they only have one option, and they take that single option instead of really trying to look at the field and think what's going to make. How can we get past this Space Station squad? And
I think there is such a fine line between taking your time, dribbling it out, and finding a player versus just trying to clear. You got to do it when you know that your team is getting bombarded. Excuse me. Get a huge clear, try and stall, but in that moment, Ajax didn't even need to.
Ooh, that rolls off the crossbar from Ajax. Hoxer tried to confirm, but that's a tough bounce to read when it comes off the corner of the crossbar like that. And Hoxer right now, this is going to continue, but this whole play started because Hoxer is getting block after block in the attacking third. And now they're just stuck in this corner. That ball is right to Hoxer. He'll get another great clear here for the Birds. And AXB's challenge knocked away. Sipical just gets up in time to knock it out, but they're still in danger, feeling a lot of pressure.
Roldiz. You know, he flooded that corner, creating the pressure, keeping it forward, and making his team allow a chance to steal the boost, maintain pressure, and add a little bit of a panic factor to SSG.
AXB got chipped by his teammate, and it's a goal for Roldiz. He scores. Back on the rotation, AXB got bumped.
Was that by his own teammate?
It was by his own teammate.
Ran into him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to hurt.
And I think AXB gets there if he doesn't get chipped.
Yeah. That has got to be wrong. I mean, that is your own teammate, Space Station Gaming. They need to win this series to have a chance at going to, or at making, you know, the win right now in the series.
And based on what we've seen in the rest of North America, Turtle, this game, if Space Station can't pull it out, this could be just a fight to stay out of the bottom two. AXB. Oh, touch continuation up high. Sipical. No, he hits the post. Again, Space Station. Chance squandered. And they have less than 30 seconds to score twice, or they will be 3-1 by the Birds. Up high, Sipical.
Oh, here's an opening.
He can't do it. It's goal for Hoxer. 3 goals with 18 seconds. Puts it out of reach.
I mean, Hoxer's just going to get the secured goal right now. The demo coming out from Birds. He's got a free net. And for Space Station Gaming, they go off of a own teammate bump, all the way followed by a post hit. And now here they are sitting 0 for 3 in Game 4.
Space Station Gaming, they were able to get back into this series. It looked a lot better from them, but credit to the Birds, and Game 4, credit to Hoxer. Hoxer creating so many opportunities for his team. Relentless pressure from the entire Birds squad. They pick up this win against Space Station big in week 2 for Birds.
And I think a big difference is we normally can pick and pinpoint, a specific player who we think, could step it up, who could make that extra stride to benefit his team more. But right now, Roldiz had a great series, putting himself in positions to constantly keep the pressure.
And Ajax as well.
Yeah, Hawks are being aggressive, and then Ajax, like you said,